Hi, this is Sal Tuzzolino, host and ringmaster of the Sports Circus, the big top of sports talk radio. Did you hear this?
You really got to watch out. You get in front of a big kangaroo, and he starts kicking, you're done.
Because that's going to happen here in Vegas or in Long Beach, right?
Yeah, it won't happen around here.
Clown around with us and stream the show online at thesportcircus.com. Join me and three-time NFL Pro Bowl safety and 12-year NFL coach Mark Carrier this Saturday morning at 8 here on NBC Sports 920, The Game. Okay, welcome back to the final segment for the Sports Circus. Friday edition, Saturday edition can be found on NBC Sports Radio 920 The Game in Las Vegas at 8 a.m. every Saturday morning. You can also stream the show live at thesportcircus.com. This segment is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protection whenever you need it. You never know what's around the corner. For less than $1 a day, get your protection today. 213-245-1305. 213-245-1305. Give them a call today. Tell them Sports Circus sent you. Okay, finishing up on the NCAA tournament. NCAA tournament, we just talked about the ACC, which teams are getting in, and let's shift over to the Big Ten. These teams are probably going to get in. There's going to be, I'm going to guess, 8 teams from the Big Ten. You're going to see Purdue, who is going to win the conference outright. Minnesota's played fairly well. Wisconsin, Maryland, Northwestern, who is just eking in, and I have a real problem with this. They don't belong in this tournament. They're just not good enough. And everybody in the country that's going to email me or call me or whatnot, fine, info@thesportcircus.com. Give me your crap, because I'll tell you every reason why Northwestern should not be in the tournament. Whether it's a last-second win against Michigan or beating a haphazard team like Illinois, they suck. They shouldn't be in there. They should be in the NIT. All right. Also, I think you'll see Michigan, who we just talked about, Michigan State, only because of Tom Izzo, and Izzo's Izzo. Izzo's going to get in the tournament even as maybe a 10 or 11 or 12 seed. And Illinois may get in, so that could be your 8 teams. In the Big East, Villanova, the national champion from last year, is going to be in. Butler is going to get in there, and I'm going to tell you something. Butler is a good club. We're going to get into that in just a few minutes, because watch out for Butler. Creighton, minus their point guard, one of the better teams in the country. They're missing their point guard, and they're still highly ranked. Creighton's a good club as well. Marquette will get in. Providence will get in. Xavier is always in. And Seton Hall is one of those bubble teams you're probably not going to get in. So look for 6 teams from the Big East. From the Big 12, a conference that basically is full of underachievers. Kansas, Baylor, West Virginia, Iowa State, Oak State, 5 teams. Oak State is a little questionable. Both 5 teams are going to get in there. The Pac-12, of course, we talked about Arizona, UCLA, and Oregon. Those are your locks. USC, maybe not. I don't think USC is going to get in. Look for 3 teams from the Pac-12, and those are all very deserving teams, very good teams, mind you. I think Oregon's the lesser of the 3. UCLA could win it all. Arizona could win it all, and we'll get to that again in a second. The Atlantic 10 features the Dayton Flyers and Virginia Commonwealth. Those are the 2 teams that are going to get in there. The American Conference is going to see SMU and Cincinnati. Cincinnati's always in there. SMU is sort of a surprise this year. The West Coast Conference with the overrated Gonzaga Bulldogs. Yes, overrated. They're highly ranked. They just lost to Brigham Young on their home floor, which they easily should have beaten BYU. And they lost by 8 points on their home floor. How embarrassing. And the way they lost was very embarrassing. Gonzaga, you're a Sweet 16 and you're out. You're out in the 2nd or 3rd round. That's it. Missouri Valley, very tough conference featuring Wichita State. And I think Illinois is going to get in there. Illinois State's going to get in there as well. In the Mountain West, finally, as far as these at-large breakdown by conference, I think the Nevada Wolfpack get in there. And the UNLV Rebels, no, you're not out. You're not in. See you later, kids. So the odds to win the NCAA tournament, people know me as Sal the Bookmaker. You could probably see it right here on the screen is my best guess. And I just killed it in football, college football, pro football. And it was ridiculous. I picked 81.5% correct against the spread, 81.5%. And what ends up happening, we get a lot of these, a lot of chips. Let me tell you something. If you bet those games, even half of the games, I don't advocate that. This is not a tout show. I just pick them. And I'm telling you, when I pick them, this is what happens. People have won money, and at the end of the day, I don't bet them. I just pick them. It's fun. Yep. You know that. Everybody knows that. And you at home know that, too. Because if you're smart, you were making some of these right here. Okay, so the odds to win the tournament, the big dance, which ends, I think it's April 5th, but it basically goes from the end of the first week in March all the way through. We'll call it the second week. Anyway, North Carolina, the Chapel Hillbillies, are at 13-2, or basically 6.5 to 1. They are really solid. They're number 1 in the country in rebounding. This is a very difficult team, but they have a very difficult game again on Saturday, tomorrow, against Duke, and it's going to be at home at the Dean Dome. So watch for another Duke victory over the Chapel Hillbillies, and there's a possibility that Carolina could not win the ACC outright. Kind of a fun game. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Go Duke. UCLA is at 8-1, and 8-1, they are first in field goal percentage. They are second in three-point percentage. They're second in the nation in scoring. They're 28th in rebound. This is a team that probably has the best numbers across the board. Watch out for UCLA. Watch out for Lonzo Ball. Man, this kid is good, and this team is good. The Pac-10 is finally rising up. They were known as the Conference of Champions, many years ago. They had a very down period, and now this Pac-12 is really starting to play. Watch out for those UCLA Bruins. Villanova, they're eighth in field goal percentage, bad rebounding. They're at 17-2, or basically 8.5 to 1. I think that's overrated. Duke is at 9-1, and they're very, very solid. They play a great inside-outside game. They're very, very hard to cover. They've got big guys down low. They got great shooting, tremendous defense and guard play. Watch out for Duke, not because I went there, but watch out for Duke. I mean, this is a team that is really coming into their own in the last month, and they are a very, very tough out. I would not want to play them if I was any of these schools right here on this list right here, which I'm going to keep telling you about. Kansas, they're good. They had good wins early in the season. They keep winning. They're a solid club. Are they a legit number 1? Maybe. I don't know. I'm sort of indifferent on them. They're just solid across the board, but they don't bedazzle you. So, in contrast with Gonzaga as being incredibly overrated, they're strong across the board, but again, they play in a bad league. They don't play the same strength of schedule that the other big schools do in the other big conferences, so they're kind of a victim of their own circumstance. They're overrated. Gonzaga, you're out in the Sweet 16. And at 10-1, I would never put my money there. Kentucky will beat them all day long. They're at 11-1, and they're strong at scoring and rebounds, but they're very bad in three-point percentage. So that means they're banging the ball down low. But unfortunately, when teams are playing a zone, you can't get the ball down low. You're going to have to play the perimeter game. So that's a whole nother argument. Oregon at 14-1. They're solid except for rebounding. I don't think in the tournament they're going to even make the Elite Eight. Arizona, look, they could be a Final Four team. Arizona at 15-1. That's a hell of a pick right there. And I would put a couple of bucks on that just because they're solid. Moving down the ladder a little bit, Purdue. This is an interesting one here because Purdue, they're 28th in field goal, 5th in three-point shooting, 34th in points, and 57th in rebounds. But this is a team that is really big down low. And they're playing in a conference that's not doing so well this year, which is the Big Ten. But Purdue is certainly a class team with great wins. This is a team that will make the Elite Eight for sure. Can they make the Final Four? I don't know. But they're big enough too. They're seasoned. They don't one and done their players. They've got veterans on the club. I'll tell you what, at 30-1, I'm going to put a couple bucks on it because at 30-1, the price is too big when you're that good of a team with those many quality wins. And finally, the Butler Bulldogs out of Indianapolis. This team has beaten the current reigning national champion both times this year. That's right, the Butler Bulldogs. They moved from the Missouri Valley over to the Big East, and they didn't skip a beat. Man, this team is still winning. They're doing well. At 50-1, how could you not put a couple of bucks on that? At 50-1, that's ridiculous. So you take all these long shots, put a couple bucks on them, and then if one of the bigger ones come in, well, so be it. But at least, you're the shortest odds are at Carolina at 8.5 to 1, or I should say 6.5 to 1. So you can really pick 6 teams. And you can kind of combat that. And I think, from a value standpoint, you're probably better off doing that. Sell the bookmaker. And you can actually read more about Sell the Bookmaker at sell.vegas. and at wiseguysradio.com, where you can also stream this show live, also as you may be doing on Facebook or YouTube. But anyway, there's a lot to cover. I don't have enough time to cover this. I need 3 hours for this show. Hell, hockey, I could have gone on for 3 hours by itself. NCAA, because we're at tournament time, conference tournaments are starting, mayhem is going to begin. Las Vegas will be turned upside down because that's what happens in March Madness. It is absolutely sheer madness. Make sure you tune into the Sports Circus tomorrow on Saturday at 8 a.m. AM 920 The Game, NBC Sports. Also, tune in next Friday, 2 p.m., right here, same place, same time. Until next week, have a great one.